I've taken some time out of my busy schedule, being fabulous and doing my hair, to prepare a speech for you. Well, a few remarks, really. Feminism is cancer.
I am the Leviathan. This starts with a violent end. It's Clash of the Titans, then the sky collapsing, I relax the abstract. Nah, motherfucker, when I silence them. This is your worst fear. Let me make my words clear. The walk feels so good, you get blown away. So sweet dreams, your heart extend. That beautiful death that was caused by war. And this intro is just
Abstract 9.
It's my duty to read you your Milo-approved Miranda rights. You have the right to controversial opinions and speech. You have the right to confront and to disagree with, to rebut and to question opinions that don't match your own. You have the right to do all of that without being told that you are violating a safe space. You have the right to reject the brainwashing forced upon you by professors that make Obama look like the aforesaid Che Guevara. And most importantly, you have the right to worship your dangerous faggot.
I am the one, the way your son don't need a gun to get respect up on the street. Under the sun, the bastard son will pop the clock to feed himself and family. By any means, your enemies, my enemies, we wet them up like a canteen.
But I do recognize that blue lives matter. Black Lives Matter doesn't really care about black lives. It's, as we'll discuss shortly, more of a movement for attention, money, and, like most activism, more money. Based on 2012 numbers, it would take 40 years worth of blacks killed by police to equal the total number of blacks murdered by other blacks in a single year. Right. Less than 400 people a year are killed by cops. 61% of them are white men. People are killed by police about as often as they're struck by lightning, but I don't see many protests about storms. Black men are about 6.5% of the US population, but they commit 52% of all murders. Looking at overall violent crime, blacks are 27% more likely to attack whites than vice versa, and 8 times more likely to attack Hispanics. 90% of blacks that die of murder die at the hands of other black people, and that's from the FBI homicide report. 90%. My message is simple. Black lives don't matter to Black Lives Matter. If they did, they'd be confronting these issues instead of ignoring them completely.
This question says, who do you like for president?
Well, I think Donald Trump is great, and I'll tell you why. There's another set of people who like Trump, and the other set of people is me, and it's those mysterious women, Hispanics, highly educated people who somehow vote for Trump, and liberals are like, but how can you... And it's a very simple reason. The current parties are no longer fit for purpose. The Republican Party deserves to be destroyed. It is no longer fit for purpose. It disrespects and betrays its own base. It no longer practices conservative principles in government. It deserves to be ripped in two. So that plus the fact that I think there's been a realignment in politics in the West in the last 20 years. When I meet somebody, what I care about is if they want to control how I live or they don't. Today it's the left. Today it's the progressive left who want to control what you read, what you say, what you think, what video games you can play, what movies you can watch. I want them to f*** off out of my life. I want them out of my life. For all of, the risk that he might be a big statist, I like the idea of Trump at least because he is a gigantic middle finger at an establishment that has failed.
So now you open the gates. Great, eliminate like a lemonade. Hey,
You have two kinds of Muslims in the US. Some of you aren't going to like this, but I'm going to tell you anyway because it's true. You have two kinds of Muslims in the US. You have nice, assimilated, middle-class Muslims. Let's just say they're cultural Muslims. Like I might be a cultural Catholic, perhaps, you might say. Right? These are not people who pray 5 times a day. You have these people, and they're your friends, and you think, gosh, these people are saying such terrible things about Muslims, but I know so many nice Muslims. That can't be true. Well, it's because of where you are in the world. You have those nice middle and upper-class Muslims, and you have terrorists. That's all you have here.
I don't have a problem
with you. What you don't have here is what Germany has. 1.4 million Syrian refugees, or should I say migrants, who come in, commit the most appalling crimes and abuses against women, homosexuals, trans people. You've got nothing to say about that, by the way. What you don't have is a massive influx of working-class Muslim populations, and it will come, and it is coming, and when it does, you will think very differently about this.
boy had to penetrate. Face, young boy done caught a case. Bang, now I'm living with the the pain.
I think it would have been ridiculous until really very recently for any man to make arguments like this. They do experience discrimination in education. They do feel as though schools can be architected against them sometimes. They get whacked on Ritalin for being too boisterous. When they get into the workplace and go and apply for jobs and all the rest of it, they don't have all the same sort of programs and foundations and extra schemes and all the rest of it.
Right, but your main claim is about the gender pay gap, that actually that is a myth. And it's not a myth, is it?
Yes,
Even
it is
today.
a myth, yes. These figures come from averages across society. They don't take into account the different life choices that women make. Even if they don't have babies, they take longer holidays. They tend to take more holidays. The reason that the figures flip after that age is because women make different life choices.
Right.
And if you take those life choices into account, no serious economist believes this stuff. It's repeated by politicians right up to President Obama, but no serious economist takes the wage gap seriously. 3 weeks ago, a study came out that showed that men and women going for the same job with the same qualification in STEM fields, the women are 3 to 1 more likely to get the job because it's a generational thing,
Wait, doctor says he's gonna stay. They don't get the sense of me, so he regenerate. Now a nigga harder than the head of the state. Giselle Curry is the new candidate. Ultimate, alternate, you are the opposite. Stop the shit, chop your esophagus. Bitches be bopping.